Hello. Welcome to the Fanfic Majesty. If you want more content, you can follow me on Patreon. I will be uploading more content on there that will be exclusive. The link is in the description. Please support me. 8SF. Chapter 176 Unbelievable Open Black Lens Bracket. Please subscribe. Close Black Lens Bracket. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Naruto still couldn't figure out why Ye Shenyue had to meet Yakushi Kabuto before, but now Naruto seems to know. After all, Naruto also had this idea at this time, so they all agree with Ye Shenyue's decision now. At this time Ye Shenyue said, "So, we should find Yakushi Kabuto first, so that we can know what happened, how Yakushi Kabuto suddenly became so powerful, and was able to take down Killer Bee." At this time, Ye Shenyue has already guessed, Naruto and Sasuke must have understood him, so now Ye Shenyue hopes that the two of them can do what he said. Anyway, they have to find Yakushi Kabuto now, only in this way can they all know what happened to Yakushi Kabuto and why he became so powerful all of a sudden. After all, Ye Shenyue had never heard of Yakushi Kabuto before, but when Ye Shenyue had heard of Yakushi Kabuto at this time, he was actually such a powerful O2. What's more, in Ye Shenyue's impression, Killer Bee is already very powerful, and Yakushi Kabuto was able to win Killer Bee, which is really incredible. At this time Ye Shenyue looked at Naruto and Sasuke again and said, "Now you two should understand what I think, so you should support my decision." Anyway, Ye Shenyue also knew that when Ye Shenyue decided to go to Yakushi Kabuto first, Naruto and Sasuke also had some disagreements. It's just that neither of them said much, but after going through this incident, Ye Shenyue thinks that Naruto and Sasuke should understand, and Ye Shenyue should also support Ye Shenyue. After all, Ye Shenyue was very correct in making such a decision. Advertisement. Because now they also have to figure out what happened to this Yakushi Kabuto and how he became so powerful, not to mention that Yakushi Kabuto is also an enemy and not a friend. So they must also know in advance what their opponents are capable of. After all, only by knowing yourself and the enemy can you be victorious in all battles. At this time Sasuke smiled and said, "Ye Shenyue, of course we support you. If Naruto and I don't support you, how can the two of us come here with you?" Although Sasuke did disagree with Ye Shenyue's decision before. But no matter what, Sasuke still supports Ye Shenyue. No matter what decision Ye Shenyue makes, he will support it. At this time Ye Shenyue nodded and said, "That's right, Ye Shenyue, when did Sasuke and I not support you? After all, they all want to find Yakushi Kabuto, so maybe they can still know where Yakushi Kabuto is. The most important thing they should do now is to calm down and listen to those people, whether they will discuss anything related to Yakushi Kabuto." At this time, Naruto also followed suit. At this time, Ye Shenyue finally figured it out, what Naruto and Sasuke said was true, no matter what decision Ye Shenyue made. It's true, the two of you have never disapproved of me. Although sometimes you may disagree with the decisions I make, you will still follow me in the end. Advertisement. At this time, Ye Shenyue thought about it and said with a smile. Learn more about this Yakushi Kabuto. 460. Yeah, Ye Shenyue, let's be quiet now, let's listen to what they have to say. So they all have to listen carefully now, only in this way can they avoid taking some wrong paths. Okay, just do as you said, let's listen again now and see if they can still say something about Yakushi Kabuto. Okay, Ye Shenyue, let's not discuss this matter here now, let's listen to those people, if we can say something about Yakushi Kabuto. So now Ye Shenyue doesn't have to think so much at all of what he thinks about is superfluous. No matter right or wrong, Naruto and Sasuke will follow Ye Shenyue. After all, only in this way can they hear clearly what those people are talking about, and only in this way can they know more about Yakushi Kabuto. After all, they all need to learn more about Yakushi Kabuto now. Only in this way can they know what kind of abilities this Yakushi Kabuto has. At that time, Sasuke also wanted Ye Shenyue to know that if he and Naruto did not support Ye Shenyue, then they would not be able to come here with Ye Shenyue. What's more, at this time, all of them have already made a decision. They are going to find that Yakushi Kabuto, so they must know him in advance. At this time Sasuke said again, as long as it is a decision made by Ye Shenyue, they are very supportive, so now Naruto also hopes that Ye Shenyue will not think so much. Advertisement. At this time, Sasuke felt that all of them should stop talking about these irrelevant things here. At this time, Naruto also felt that they should calm down, after all, only in this way can they continue to hear what those people said, and only in this way can all of them. No matter what time the two of them are on Ye Shenyue's side. After all, they can defeat Yakushi Kabuto only if they know themselves and the enemy, so there is nothing more important than this. At this time, Naruto also said, in any case, they must ensure their own safety, so if they have this opportunity to learn about Yakushi Kabuto, they cannot miss it. This time, after Ye Shenyue finished speaking, several of them also fell silent. So now Sasuke also hopes that Ye Shenyue will not think wildly. So now Ye Shenyue is also very grateful to Naruto and Sasuke. After all, it is not an easy thing for two people to have such friends. Now Naruto also hopes that Ye Shenyue can know that he and Sasuke have always supported Ye Shenyue very much, no matter what decision Ye Shenyue makes. So they also have to know more about Yakushi Kabuto. So now Ye Shenyue also felt that they really should be quiet at this time. After all, these things are of some help to them all now. After all, Ye Shenyue and the others are going to find Yakushi Kabuto now. At this time, Ye Shenyue also felt that what Naruto and Sasuke said was very reasonable. Chapter 177 Hearsay Open Black Lens Bracket. Please subscribe. Close Black Lens Bracket. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. At this time, another man said. Brothers don't know. In fact, Xiaobai is in our Konoha now, I just heard them say it yesterday. When Ye Shenyue and the others heard what this man said, they were still a little happy. After all, it would be very easy for them to find Xiaobai in this case, even though they don't even know where Xiaobai is in Konoha now. But as long as it is the person Ye Shenyue wants to find, then he will be able to find it. After all, Ye Shenyue is a very patient person, no matter where this person grows, Ye Shenyue can find him. What's more, Xiaobai is not far from Ye Shenyue and the others this time, so it is even easier for Ye Shenyue to find him. Advertisement. However, just when Ye Shenyue and the others were happy, another man said, "Hey, you're all hearing this, so it's not necessarily accurate." However, this man did not believe what the man just said at all. After all, he thought it was impossible for Xiaobai to expose his whereabouts so easily. Anyway, during this period of time, Xiaobai was really very high profile. It is precisely because of this, how could Xiaobai easily expose his whereabouts? This is simply unreasonable. When Sasuke heard what this man said, he frowned, and whispered to Ye Shenyue. Ye Shenyue, you said that some of them said that Xiaobai was in Konoha, and some said that Xiaobai was not in Konoha. Who should we believe? Advertisement. At this time, Sasuke was also very confused. After all, what they said was completely different now, and Sasuke didn't know who to believe. So now Sasuke also hopes to listen to Ye Shenyue's explanation. In any case, they now have to choose who to believe. After all, only in this way can everyone know where they are going to find out about Xiaobai next. After all, there is nothing more important than this right now. Because Ye Shenyue has already made up his mind, he must personally meet Xiaobai, then he will never change his decision easily. As soon as Sasuke finished speaking, Naruto followed suit. Yeah, Ye Shenyue confuses us a little bit after hearing what they said, who should we trust? At this time, Naruto was also very confused, and now he didn't know who they should believe. Advertisement. So now Naruto also wants to hear Ye Shenyue's thoughts. After all, he and Sasuke can't figure it out now, so now they can only listen to Ye Shenyue. After all, Ye Shenyue is the one who has the most ideas, so this time, Ye Shenyue can only make up her mind. However, after Ye Shenyue listened to what Naruto and Sasuke said, he also frowned. Okay. After all, they just listened to what these people said casually just now, and now Ye Shenyue is also a little undecided. Anyway, Ye Shenyue is not familiar with these people, how does Ye Shenyue know that what they say is true? But at this time, Naruto saw that Ye Shenyue didn't speak, so he said it again. Ye Shenyue, why don't you speak? Can't you tell the truth from whoever said it? Quote. Chapter 178 Go with the flow. Open black lens bracket. Please subscribe. Close black lens bracket. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Naruto saw that Ye Shenyue didn't speak at this time, so he guessed that Ye Shenyue probably didn't know who was real and who was fake. If at this time, even Ye Shenyue can't tell who is telling the truth and who is telling the truth, then Naruto and Sasuke are helpless. After all, neither of them is as smart as Ye Shenyue, so now Ye Shenyue and Sasuke can only pin all their hopes on Ye Shenyue alone. Anyway, now the two of them also hope that Ye Shenyue can tell the real from the fake. But at this time Ye Shenyue said, 940. Okay, let's not be troubled by this matter anymore, let's just let nature take its course and take one step at a time. At this time, Ye Shenyue also hopes that Naruto and Sasuke will not be troubled by this matter. Advertisement. Anyway, there is really no need for them to embarrass themselves and struggle with this matter here. So now Ye Shenyue believes that they can take one step at a time, after all, only in this way can they all be less troubled. Now Ye Shenyue also hopes that Naruto and Sasuke can go with the flow, after all, only in this way can their image be better. Only when they are in a good mood can they be more profitable in whatever they do. This time Ye Shenyue didn't give the two of them a chance to talk, he continued. Now we don't want to relax our hearts, after all, I believe there is nothing we can't do. At this time, Ye Shenyue also knew that Naruto and Sasuke were also very difficult, so now Ye Shenyue also hopes that both of them can relax. Advertisement. After all, Ye Shenyue believes that as long as it is what they want to do, there is nothing they cannot do. So now Ye Shenyue also hopes that neither of them will embarrass themselves because of this matter. Because it is completely unnecessary, after all this matter is not a big deal in Ye Shenyue's heart. As long as Ye Shenyue wants to find Xiaobai, he will definitely be able to do it. No matter where Xiaobai hides, Ye Shenyue can find him, even in Tianya Cape, as long as Ye Shenyue and the others don't give up, they will succeed. However, before Naruto and Sasuke, after not hearing what Ye Shenyue said, they still had a glimmer of hope for Ye Shenyue. But at this time, after they listened to what Ye Shenyue said, they also had no hope for Ye Shenyue. Advertisement. After all, they could hear Ye Shenyue's words. At this time, Ye Shenyue couldn't tell who was telling the truth and who was telling the lie. So Sasuke said helplessly, Ye Shenyue, why don't you say that you have a high IQ? If you can't tell me and Naruto apart, just say it. If you can't tell them apart, you have a reason for not being able to tell them apart. At this moment, Sasuke is really convinced by Ye Shenyue, he is really a very smart person. After all, Naruto and Sasuke can't tell who is telling the truth and who is telling the truth, and they both have something to say. But after hearing what Ye Shenyue said, they realized how stupid they were. After all, Ye Shenyue couldn't tell the difference now, but he didn't admit it. Chapter 179 Say a few words less. Please subscribe. Close black lens bracket. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Instead, he was still comforting them, the two of them shouldn't care so much, and don't add trouble to themselves. This is the cleverness of Ye Shenyue, the two of them cannot compare to Ye Shenyue. At this time, Naruto also followed suit. Yeah, Ye Shenyue, you are really smart, I really don't know when we will be able to have your IQ. At this time, Naruto also felt that Ye Shenyue was very smart, after all they were really not Ye Shenyue smart. However, Ye Shenyue was speechless at this time. After all, Ye Shenyue didn't think so much, he just hoped that they would not put pressure on him. However, in their impression, Ye Shenyue is indeed smart, even if he can't find a flaw, he won't tell the truth. Advertisement. At this time, Ye Shenyue didn't know what to say. After all, if he said too much, Naruto and Sasuke would think he was making excuses. However, Ye Shenyue didn't mean that at all. After all, Ye Shenyue just hoped that they would not put more pressure on themselves. However, at this moment, Naruto continued. Ye Shenyue, it seems that Sasuke and I will learn more from you in the future. After all, only in this way can we become smarter. At this time, Naruto thought that he and Sasuke should learn more from Ye Shenyue. After all, only in this way can they become smarter. If they don't change their minds, then they are really stupid. After all, people like them are very annoying, so they must learn to be as smooth as Ye Shenyue. Only in this way can more people like them. Advertisement. However, when Ye Shenyue heard what Naruto said at this time, he was also completely speechless. After all, what were they talking about? Why did they suddenly go so far? So Ye Shenyue said helplessly. I said Naruto, I just hope that you and Sasuke don't put pressure on yourself. Why are you talking so far? Anyway, Ye Shenyue also hopes that Naruto and Sasuke can know his thoughts at this time. He really didn't want to say how smart he was, nor did he say that he didn't know those two people, who was telling the truth and hiding it. Zero asked for flowers. He just hoped that Naruto and Sasuke would not care so much. After all, only in this way can they relax their hearts. Advertisement. Only in this way can they solve all the problems. After all, they can think of a better way to solve the problem only when their hearts are relieved. However, Ye Shenyue is obviously kind, but how to say it now seems to be digressing. This time Ye Shenyue didn't give the two of them a chance to talk. Ye Shenyue continued. Okay, both of you should say a few words less now, or hurry up and eat. At this time, Ye Shenyue really didn't know what to say to Naruto and Sasuke, so now I think they should eat first, so please shut up. After all, no matter what the two of them said, Ye Shenyue would definitely not like to listen to it, so Ye Shenyue might as well not listen to it now. After all, only in this way can Ye Shenyue feel better. If Ye Shenyue asked the two of them to talk for a while longer, they might not know where they would go. Chapter 180 Outspoken Open Black Lens Bracket. Please subscribe. Close Black Lens Bracket. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. So at this time Ye Shenyue thinks that they should hurry up and eat. In this way, Naruto and Sasuke can talk less, and Ye Shenyue won't have to worry about it. But now Ye Shenyue has already spoken so clearly. Naruto and Sasuke also knew what Ye Shenyue meant. At this time, the two of them also felt a little embarrassed. 330. At this time Sasuke said with a silly smile. Ye Shenyue, isn't it because Naruto and I have low IQs? I misunderstood what you mean, so don't bother with us. Anyway, at this time Sasuke also knew that it was indeed wrong for him and Naruto to say that about Ye Shenyue, so they must now apologize to Ye Shenyue as soon as possible. Advertisement. After graduating, Ye Shenyue can be happy only in this way, otherwise Ye Shenyue will be very angry, so now Sasuke also hopes that Ye Shenyue will not be as knowledgeable as them. After all, this is not a big deal, not to mention that at this time Sasuke thinks that his attitude of admitting his mistakes is still very good. So Ye Shenyue should not haggle with Sasuke. As soon as Sasuke finished speaking, Naruto followed suit. Yeah, Ye Shenyue, it's not that you don't know me and Sasuke, we are two outspoken people who always speak without thinking about it, I don't think you will know the same as us, right? In any case, Sasuke has already admitted his mistake at this time, so Naruto cannot fall behind. After all, this time it was the two of them who were wrong, so now Naruto must apologize to Ye Shenyue, and only in this way will Ye Shenyue not care about them. Advertisement. Although this is not a big deal, both Naruto and Sasuke are very responsible people. After all, it's their fault, so they have to admit their mistakes, and when it's time to apologize, they also have to apologize. When Ye Shenyue heard what Naruto and Sasuke said, he was really speechless. After all, if Ye Shenyue were to haggle over every detail with them at this time, it would appear that Ye Shenyue was narrow-minded. So Ye Shenyue said helplessly. Okay, you two don't waste any more time, listen to me and eat quickly, go back and rest after eating, after all, you are already tired all day. Anyway, at this time, Ye Shenyue really didn't want to hear another word from Naruto and Sasuke. Advertisement. So now Ye Shenyue also hopes that they can eat quickly, and after eating, they should all go back and have a rest. In any case, they were all very tired during this time. So now, taking advantage of the time and opportunity, let them all still have to take a good rest. After all, when they were going to find Xiaobai, they would be very busy again. At that time, they would have no time to take a good rest. So now Ye Shenyue still hopes that they can take advantage of this opportunity with 2.0. What's more, Ye Shenyue didn't want it at this time, and they continued to grind on. After all, there was no need for them to say anything now, Ye Shenyue knew exactly what they wanted to say. So Ye Shenyue also hoped that they would not waste their time here, saying things that Ye Shenyue could guess. Chapter 181 Knowing What to Do. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. That's why Ye Shenyue found such a good excuse. After all, Ye Shenyue believes that they must all want to take a good rest now. This time Ye Shenyue didn't give them a chance to speak, he continued. After we've rested, we'll head straight out to find Yakushi Kabuto. Anyway, at this time, Ye Shenyue has already made a decision, so now Ye Shenyue also hopes that all of them can know his thoughts. Anyway, this time all of them, can't waste any more time, although until now, they don't know where this Yakushi Kabuto is. Advertisement. But no matter what, as long as it is something Ye Shenyue wants to do, then he must do it, even if he doesn't know it, he will never give up. What's more, if Ye Shenyue really wants to find someone, then he will definitely be able to find someone, it's just a matter of time, faster or slower. At this time, Ye Shenyue looked at them, and everyone continued talking. If there is a chance to find out about him, then it will be easier for us to find him. If there is no news about him, then I must find him. In any case, at this time Ye Shenyue also hopes that all of them can be mentally prepared. Even if they can't find out the news, then Ye Shenyue will never give up. Ye Shenyue must go to find Yakushi Kabuto. If they could have found out about Yakushi Kabuto, they would have saved themselves some time and trouble. Advertisement. So now they all have to make a preparation in advance. Only in this way when Ye Shenyue makes a decision, they won't be surprised. So now Ye Shenyue also hopes that all of them will cherish this opportunity to rest, and they must have a good rest. Only in this way can they all recharge their energy. When Naruto and Sasuke heard what Ye Shenyue said, they knew that this time, Ye Shenyue would never give up. They were just speculations before, but now they are completely confirmed. At this time Sasuke shook his head helplessly and said, "Okay, Ye Shenyue, don't worry, we already know what to do, and Naruto and I will have a good rest when we go back later." In any case, at this time Sasuke also hoped that Ye Shenyue could rest assured. After all, now he and Naruto already knew what to do. Advertisement. At this time, they are also unable to go against Ye Shenyue's wishes, otherwise Ye Shenyue will not easily 740 and let the two of them go. What's more, Naruto and Sasuke are also willing to follow Ye Shenyue's side. No matter what decision Ye Shenyue wants to make, they will not leave. As soon as Sasuke finished speaking, Naruto followed suit. "Ye Shenyue, since you have already made up your mind, Sasuke and I can only support you. After all, we are on the same boat." At this moment, Naruto also knows what Ye Shenyue means. So now he also hopes that Ye Shenyue can know that he and Sasuke fully support Ye Shenyue. So now Ye Shenyue doesn't need to worry so much at all. Chapter 182 discussed tomorrow. Please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. What's more, Ye Shenyue has already reminded them, and they now know what they should do. So now Ye Shenyue is completely unnecessary, worrying that the two of them will not have a good rest. After all, there is no need at this time. No matter what to say, the two of them also know Ye Shenyue's decision. So they will definitely have a good rest. After all, they will be busy next time. At this time, Ye Shenyue nodded in satisfaction and said, "Advertisement. Okay, since that's the case, then let's not waste time, let's eat quickly, and go back to rest early after eating." Ye Shenyue is also very satisfied at this moment, so Ye Shenyue thinks that they should not continue to waste time here. So now Ye Shenyue also hopes that they can eat quickly so that they can go back to rest earlier. After all of them have rested this time, they don't know when they will have a chance to have a good rest next time. So at this time, they all must cherish this opportunity well, and must rest for a while. Now it's not just Naruto and Sasuke who want to do this, even Ye Shenyue. After all, they have all worked hard during this time. This time, Naruto and Sasuke didn't say anything after listening to what Ye Shenyue said. Advertisement. After all, they also knew that at this time, they had to do what Ye Shenyue said. It is necessary to eat quickly, so that they can go to rest earlier, and only when they rest early can they rest for a long time. Soon they all had their stomach full. Ye Shenyue continued at this time. "Okay, now you all go back to rest. I'm going to take a rest too, if there is anything we can discuss tomorrow." Ye Shenyue thinks that since they are full at this time, they must go back to rest immediately. After all, only in this way can they all rest for a while. What's more, if they have something to do, they can discuss it on the second day, and they are not in a hurry at all. So now all of them can't waste time here. After Ye Shenyue finished speaking this time, he left here without any hesitation. Advertisement. After all, Naruto and Sasuke can go back to rest only if Ye Shenyue leaves Naruto and Sasuke. If Ye Shenyue doesn't leave, maybe how long will the two of them stay here? So at this time, he also wants to avoid Naruto and Sasuke from continuing to dawdle. At this moment, Naruto shook his head helplessly and said, Backquote, Ye Shenyue is still guarding against us. He didn't give us a chance to talk, so he went back to rest. Quote. Although at this time Yagami, Getchian you didn't speak out his thoughts and decisions, but Naruto can guess it. Anyway, they have known each other for so long, which one of them doesn't know the other? So at this time, Naruto also felt some small complaints. After all, Ye Shenyue was still guarding against him and Sasuke at this time, so how could they not complain? But their complaints are complaints. After all, Ye Shenyue said this for the benefit of all of them. Chapter 183 Going straight away. Please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. I also hope that the two of them can rest for a while. At this time Sasuke smiled helplessly and said, Okay, Naruto, don't waste time, let's go back to rest quickly. After all, we can't live up to Ye Shenyue's kindness. At this time, Sasuke thought that the two of them should not waste time here. After all, Ye Shenyue was also kind, and hoped that the two of them could rest for a while. So at this time Sasuke thinks that he and Naruto are indeed, and should follow what Ye Shenyue said. After all, only in this way can they have more time to rest, and only in this way can they recharge their energy. After all of them will be very busy in the future, and if they want to rest at that time, they may not have time. Advertisement. So at this time, they should still cherish this opportunity to rest. At this time Naruto said with a smile, Sasuke, what you said is right, we really shouldn't disappoint Ye Shenyue's kindness, let's go back and rest as soon as possible. Anyway, what Sasuke said still has some truth, so Naruto will definitely not waste time at this time. This time, Naruto ACEJ and Sasuke didn't hesitate at all, and both returned to their rooms to rest. After all, Ye Shenyue asked them to rest well at this time, so they must rest well, and only in this way can they all rest well. Only in this way can their physical strength be equal. If not, Ye Shenyue can keep going, but they may not be able to do it. Advertisement. So at this time, they also must cherish time and have a good rest. Only in this way can they move forward together. When they are resting, time always passes very fast. Soon it was the second day when they all got up, and they didn't waste any time. After all, they must start earlier at this time, because they still have a lot of things waiting for them to do. At this time, after they finished their breakfast, Ye Shenyue said directly. Alright, Naruto, Sasuke, we've finished our meal now, so let's go directly. At this time, Ye Shenyue also felt that there was no need for them to waste time here. After all, they have already eaten and drank enough now, not to mention that they have already rested, so they must set off immediately. Advertisement. After all, only in this way can all of them find Yakushi Kabuto earlier, and only in this way can Ye Shenyue know what Yakushi Kabuto is capable of earlier. However, Naruto and Sasuke frowned at this time. After all, they don't know where to go. What's more, they just had breakfast. Since they are going on their way, they should also bring something to eat on the way. After all, if they are hungry on the road, what should they do if they don't find a restaurant? So Sasuke frowned and said, Ye Shenyue, we can't just walk away empty-handed, after all we have to bring something to eat on the way. At this time, Sasuke said whatever he thought of. Anyway, this matter is still very important to them all. Chapter 184 Sufficient Preparation, Seeking Subscription. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. So now Sasuke also has to remind Ye Shenyue that they don't have anything to eat yet. After all, they don't know how far they will go when they are on their way this time. So when they are hungry, there may not be a restaurant, so they must bring some things in advance, so that they can be prepared for emergencies. As soon as Sasuke finished speaking, Naruto followed suit. Yeah, Ye Shenyue, I know you are in a hurry, but no matter how anxious we are, we must be well prepared before we can hurry. At this moment, Naruto also feels that what Sasuke said is very correct. Although Ye Shenyue is in a hurry to hurry, they must be well prepared no matter what. So now Naruto also hopes that Ye Shenyue will not be in a hurry. No matter what, they must prepare some food. After all, only in this way can they all go on their way with peace of mind. Advertisement. If not, they will all be worried. After all, their journey this time is also very far away. After all, they don't have any goals at all now, let alone destinations. So now they must be fully prepared. So now they can't make Ye Shenyue leave them in a hurry, they have to prepare more food to be at ease. At this time, Ye Shenyue sighed helplessly and said. Okay, Naruto, Sasuke, you two will know how to eat, don't worry, I have already prepared the food. At this moment, Ye Shenyue is really speechless. After all, Naruto and Sasuke are always thinking about food. Fortunately, Ye Shenyue made preparations in advance. The first thing Ye Shenyue did when she went downstairs was to prepare a lot of food. Advertisement. So now they don't need to worry about this at all. Because what Naruto and Sasuke are worried about, Ye Shenyue has already thought about it for them, and has already prepared, so they can go directly now. But after Naruto and Sasuke heard what Ye Shenyue said, they were still very surprised, because they didn't find out when Ye Shenyue prepared it. So Sasuke frowned and said, Ye Shenyue, when did you prepare it? Why didn't Naruto and I see it? 0. Ask for flowers. Sasuke was also very curious at this time. After all, he never saw that Ye Shenyue was ready. How did Ye Shenyue do it? Advertisement. After all, they have been together all the time, and they didn't realize at all, who did Ye Shenyue ask to prepare food for them. So at this time Sasuke also wanted to clarify this matter, he wanted to know how Ye Shenyue did it. At this time, Naruto also followed suit. Yeah, Ye Shenyue, we've been together all this time, when did you prepare the food? Why didn't the two of us find out? At this time, Naruto was also very curious. So now he also hopes that Ye Shenyue can give him and Sasuke an answer as soon as possible. After all, only in this way can they know how Ye Shenyue did it. If Ye Shenyue didn't tell the two of them about this matter, then the two of them would keep murmuring in their hearts. In any case, they all want to know the meaning of the answer. Chapter 185 Delicate Thoughts. Please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. So no matter what, they must let Ye Shenyue tell them when he started preparing. After all, they wanted to know how Ye Shenyue managed to be so silent, so he prepared everything he needed. At this time, Ye Shenyue was really speechless. After all, Ye Shenyue could tell that the two of them were very serious. So if Ye Shenyue doesn't give 063 Naruto and Sasuke an answer, then the two of them will not let it go. So Ye Shenyue shook his head helplessly and said. Advertisement. Before the break yesterday, I already told the boss, and asked him to prepare some food for us this morning, and take it on the road. This time Ye Shenyue did not hesitate at all, and directly told Naruto and Sasuke what he did. Anyway, when Ye Shenyue thinks about something, he thinks very well. So when Naruto and Sasuke didn't think of it, Ye Shenyue had already thought of it. It is precisely because of this that Naruto and Sasuke did not know when Ye Shenyue prepared all these food. But no matter what, since Ye Shenyue is ready at this time, there is no need for them to waste time here. So they should hurry up now. After all, only in this way can they find Yakushi Kabuto earlier. At this time Sasuke smiled and said, Advertisement. Ye Shenyue, you think about everything more than we do, your thoughts are really delicate. Why? At this time Sasuke also admired Ye Shenyue very much. Ye Shenyue's thoughts are really very delicate. Anyway, ordinary people don't have such a careful heart, but Ye Shenyue does, not to mention Ye Shenyue is usually so busy. But he was able to arrange everything in an orderly manner. This is something that Sasuke admires very much, so now Sasuke also feels that he and Naruto will be blessed in the future. Because the two of them are by Ye Shenyue's side, they can worry less and have less trouble. This time Sasuke didn't give Ye Shenyue a chance to speak, he went on to say 0. It seems that when the two of us are with you in the future, we really don't have to worry about anything, because you will consider everything very thoughtfully. Advertisement. At this time, Sasuke felt very happy when he thought about it. After all, Sasuke and Naruto will always be by Ye Shenyue's side. But Ye Shenyue has such a delicate mind, he can do everything well, and he thinks very long-term about everything. So in the future, Naruto and Sasuke don't have to worry about anything, because Ye Shenyue will take care of everything well. When Naruto heard what Sasuke said, he also thought that what Sasuke said was very reasonable. So Naruto followed suit. It's 0.8. Ye Shenyue, with you here in the future, Sasuke and I really don't have to worry about anything, and Sasuke and I are really blessed people. At this time, Naruto always felt that what Sasuke said was very reasonable. As long as Ye Shenyue was around, they didn't have to worry about anything. It seems that they are really very lucky to be able to be by the side of people like Ye Shenyue. Chapter 186 Making a big deal over a molecule. Please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Anyway, there are very few excellent people like Ye Shenyue. But they can be seen by Naruto and Sasuke, and the two of them can always follow Ye Shenyue's side. It is precisely because of this reason that they were able to avoid so many troubles. However, when Ye Shenyue heard what Naruto and Sasuke said, he was really speechless. So Ye Shenyue said helplessly, Naruto, Sasuke, how can you have such thoughts? No matter what happens in the future, we still have to think together. I can't do it alone. Oh too. At this time, Ye Shenyue couldn't understand at all. How could Naruto and Sasuke think like this? No matter what, Ye Shenyue couldn't make them think like this now. Advertisement. Because Ye Shenyue is not omnipotent at all, it is impossible for him to think about everything so thoughtfully. So now Ye Shenyue also hopes that the two of them, Naruto and Sasuke, will not have anything to do in the future. They all count on Ye Shenyue alone, and they also want to think about it with Ye Shenyue. After all, only in this way can they think about everything more clearly, and only in this way can they save a lot of trouble. So now Ye Shenyue also hopes that the two of them can reach this point. Ye Shenyue didn't give Naruto and Sasuke a chance to talk this time either, he continued. After all, everyone has sloppy moments, so no matter what happens, we should all think about it together. After all, if I forget, it will be very troublesome. No matter what, Ye Shenyue is the same now. Let Naruto and Sasuke know that everyone is sloppy sometimes. Advertisement. After all, no one is omnipotent, and everyone will be negligent sometimes. So no matter what happens in the future, they all have to think about it together. After all, only in this way can they be foolproof. So now Ye Shenyue thinks this matter is still very important, so now Ye Shenyue must explain it clearly to them. However, Naruto and Sasuke, after hearing what Ye Shenyue said, they also thought that Ye Shenyue really made a big fuss. After all, what kind of thing is this? They all think the same thing, but if it's a big deal, then of course they will think about it together. So Sasuke said, okay, Ye Shenyue, don't worry, if it's something important, of course we will think about it with you, you don't have to worry. Advertisement. At this time, Sasuke also felt that Ye Shenyue was a little too exaggerated. Anyway, if this is the case, both Sasuke and Naruto will help Ye Shenyue think about it. Let's say it is Ye Shenyue. Even if they don't say it, they will think about it. Now Sasuke and Naruto mean nothing more than saying it. In the future, they don't need to worry about some small matters at all. Ye Shenyue can handle them well by himself. After all, Sasuke trusts Ye Shenyue very much, and Ye Shenyue is a very capable person. As soon as Sasuke finished speaking, Naruto followed suit. Yeah, Ye Shenyue, you misunderstood the meaning of the two of us. We didn't say anything and didn't help to think about it. It's just some small things, so we don't have to worry about it. Chapter 187 Misunderstood me. Please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Anyway, Ye Shenyue's thinking at this time is different from Naruto and Sasuke's. So at this time, Naruto and Sasuke must make this matter clear to Ye Shenyue. After all, what Ye Shenyue thinks is completely different from theirs. They talk about small things, but Ye Shenyue thinks they are big things. So now Naruto and Sasuke also hope that Ye Shenyue can listen to what the two of them said. After all, it was only in this way that they could reach a consensus, otherwise, they would still be wasting time here. But at this time Ye Shenyue shook his head helplessly and said, Naruto, Sasuke, I didn't misunderstand you, you misunderstood me. However, at this time, Ye Shenyue must also make it clear to Naruto and Sasuke, because Ye Shenyue did not misunderstand at all. What they meant was that Naruto and Sasuke misunderstood, Ye Shenyue meant. Advertisement. What Ye Shenyue said meant that no matter it was big or small, they all wanted to think about it together. After all, only in this way can they not miss any details. Only in this way can they save some trouble. After all, if anyone doesn't consider it so thoughtfully, then they will have more troubles in the future. So now Ye Shenyue also hopes that Naruto and Sasuke can listen carefully to what Ye Shenyue said, and only in this way can they know what Ye Shenyue means. In any case, whether it is a big event or a small event, they all have to remember it together. After all, only in this way can they save more time. After all, Ye Shenyue has always believed that their time is very important, so they try not to waste time as much as possible. Advertisement. Ye Shenyue worried that Naruto and Sasuke still didn't understand what he meant, so Ye Shenyue continued. What I mean is that in the future, whether it's a big thing or a small thing, we all have to think about it together. This time Ye Shenyue is also direct, expressing her thoughts. After all, only when they think of Naruto in this way can they know what Ye Shenyue means. Only in this way can they save some trouble. Otherwise, Naruto and Sasuke would not understand what Ye Shenyue meant. In this case, maybe they will waste more time here. So this time, Ye Shenyue also hopes that Naruto and Sasuke can hear what he said clearly. Advertisement. Only in this way will Naruto and Sasuke know what to do in the future. Nana looked at Naruto and Sasuke and continued. After all, only in this way can we save some trouble. After all, what I think alone is not as much as the three of us. Anyway, at this time Ye Shenyue still hopes that Naruto and Sasuke can firmly remember what he said. Great Zhao, after all, only in this way will they know what to do, and only in this way can they save more time and trouble. However, at this time, when Naruto and Sasuke heard what Ye Shenyue said, they knew what Ye Shenyue meant. It seems that they really thought too much before, they completely misunderstood what Ye Shenyue meant. Now both Naruto and Sasuke already know what Ye Shenyue means. Chapter 188 Thinking Together. Please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. I never thought that this time, Naruto and Sasuke could talk so easily. That's about the same. After all, only in this way can Ye Shenyue know his thoughts, and only in this way can Ye Shenyue be more at ease. So now Naruto also hopes that Ye Shenyue will not worry so much. At this moment, Sasuke also followed suit. Naruto looked at Ye Shenyue and continued. When Ye Shenyue heard what Naruto said, he was still very satisfied. After all, he would not have to worry about it by himself in the future. Because now both he and Naruto have decided. Advertisement. 750 So now Naruto and Sasuke will undoubtedly listen to Ye Shenyue. After all, Ye Shenyue has always believed that he is not omnipotent at all, and it is impossible for him to think about everything so thoughtfully. After all, only in this way can they think more comprehensively, and only in this way can they save some trouble. Okay, Ye Shenyue, what do you mean? Sasuke and I have understood now. At this time Naruto nodded and said, after all, what Ye Shenyue said was very reasonable. Because now they all know Ye Shenyue very well, and they will definitely do what Ye Shenyue said in the future. No matter what happens in the future, the two of them will help Ye Shenyue think about him together. After all, what he said will sometimes be negligent to everyone. So whether it's a big event or a small one, they all have to remember it together. Advertisement. If not, how could Ye Shenyue know what was going on in his heart? At this time, Naruto also understood thoroughly what Ye Shenyue meant. At this time, Ye Shenyue nodded with satisfaction and said with a smile. Originally, Ye Shenyue thought that it would take some time for him to talk through Naruto and Sasuke about this matter. Anyway, Ye Shenyue was very happy at this time. It seems that in the future, whether it is big or small, they will always think about it with Ye Shenyue. And they also think what Ye Shenyue said is very reasonable. However, Naruto and Sasuke, the two of them, looked at Ye Shenyue's smiling face. After all, they have always been like this, and they will listen to whoever says what is right for them. Advertisement. Whatever Naruto thinks now he can say it. So now Naruto will do what Ye Shenyue said. So this time Ye Shenyue was very happy. After all, Naruto and Sasuke rarely perform so well. At this time, Naruto already knew Ye Shenyue's intention. So now Naruto doesn't need Ye Shenyue to say anything at all, he will fully listen to Ye Shenyue's words. At this time, Sasuke also knew what Ye Shenyue meant, ACDG, so now Sasuke also hopes that Ye Shenyue can rest assured. Don't worry, since this is the case, no matter what happens in the future, Sasuke and I will think about it with you. In this way, Ye Shenyue can also save some time and waste less tongue. Well, Ye Shenyue, Naruto and I both know that no matter what happens in the future, the two of us will think about it with you, and we won't put all the burden on you alone. Chapter 189 Do what you say, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. They knew that at this time, Ye Shenyue was still in a very good mood. So at this time, the mood of the two of them became very good. This time Ye Shenyue didn't give them a chance to speak, he continued. Okay, no matter what you said today, you have to remember it yourself, but don't just talk and do it. Although at this time Ye Shenyue was still very satisfied with the answers of the two of them, yes. But no matter what, Ye Shenyue must remind Naruto and Sasuke at this time, they must firmly remember what they said today, and they can't just say don't do it. No matter what, he must do what he says in the future. Advertisement. After all, if Ye Shenyue were to do all these things by himself, he would be very tired. So now Ye Shenyue also hopes that the two of them, Naruto, can help him share some of the burden. At this time Sasuke said helplessly, Ye Shenyue, don't worry, Naruto and I are like the kind of people who don't keep their promises. Of course we will keep our word. At this time, Sasuke hoped that Ye Shenyue could rest assured. Anyway, he and Xiaopong were not the kind of people who broke their promises at all. Although they said that this is not a big deal at all, but Ye Shenyue has already emphasized that they will definitely do what they say. So now there is no need for Ye Shenyue to worry about this matter. After all, as long as Naruto and Sasuke say something, they will definitely be able to do it. Advertisement. After all, they have always been by Ye Shenyue's side, so there are many things they have learned from Ye Shenyue, because old people are like this, and they are like this. As long as he said what he said, he would definitely do what he said, so Naruto and Sasuke gradually learned this habit. At this time, Naruto also followed suit. Yeah, Ye Shenyue, Sasuke and I both know what to say. Although it's just a small thing, as long as we say it, we will definitely do it. At this time, Naruto also hopes that Ye Shenyue can know that both he and Sasuke are people who mean what they say, and as long as they say what they say, they will definitely do what they say. 0. Ask for flowers. This is true regardless of whether the matter is big or small, so now even though this time, what Naruto and Sasuke promised to Ye Shenyue is a very, very small thing. Advertisement. But as long as they talk about it, they will definitely be able to do it, so now Ye Shenyue doesn't need to worry so much at all. After Ye Shenyue listened to what Naruto and Sasuke said, he completely gave up. After all, Ye Shenyue thought about it and it was true. Naruto and Sasuke really meant what they said. At this time, Sasuke saw the waiter in the shop, and he had already prepared all the things they wanted to take away. So he said again, okay, Ye Shenyue, Naruto, everything is ready, let's not waste time here, let's go. At this time, Sasuke found that everything was ready, so they couldn't do it at this time, and continued to waste time here, and they still had to leave quickly. After all, only in this way can they know where Yakushi Kabuto is earlier. Chapter 190 Take a chance, subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. What's more, Ye Shenyue also wanted to meet Yakushi Kabuto in person. So at this time, they should be more responsible, and they should hurry up. After all, if they don't go to meet Yakushi Kabuto in person, then they can't do anything else. Naruto also said this time. Ye Shenyue, everything is ready now, we can start now, but where should we go to find Yakushi Kabuto in 073 first? At this time, Naruto also knew that everything was ready now, so he also wanted to ask Ye Shenyue's opinion now, even though they said they could set off at this time. Advertisement. But they don't have any destination now, so now Naruto must ask Ye Shenyue which direction they should go now. After all, only in this way can they know what they should do to find Yakushi Kabuto. At this time, Ye Shenyue smiled and said, didn't those people already say that? Yakushi Kabuto has captured Killer Bee, so let's go to where Killer Bee is hiding. Ye Shenyue thinks that this incident cannot be hidden from him at all. After all, they have all heard the conversations of those people before, and they have all said it. Yakushi Kabuto has already caught. Killer Bee has got the eight-tails beast. So at this time they should go to a place that is taller than Changshan. After all, maybe Yakushi Kabuto and the others now. Advertisement. After all, this time Yakushi Kabuto caught Killer Bee so smoothly, so he will definitely not put anyone in his eyes. So it is very likely that he is still there and hasn't left yet, so they can completely try their luck now. This time Ye Shenyue didn't give them a chance to speak, he continued. What's more, those people also said that it is very easy for Yakushi Kabuto to subdue Killer Bee, so at this time he must think that he is very powerful, and he will not guard against others, so we should be able to find Yakushi Kabuto there. At this time, Ye Shenyue also made it clear to Naruto and Sasuke on what basis she made her own judgment. After all, only in this way can the two of them follow what Ye Shenyue said. Only in this way can they save more time, otherwise, Naruto and Sasuke will definitely have a lot of questions to ask Ye Shenyue's zero. So now Ye Shenyue also wants to avoid such a thing from happening, so now he can only answer the questions that Naruto and Sasuke want to ask them first. Advertisement. That way they don't have to ask, and they can start off earlier. However, when Naruto and Sasuke heard what Ye Shenyue said, they also had nothing to say. After all, Ye Shenyue has his reasons for thinking this way now, and Yakushi Kabuto will definitely be very confident now, so he is really likely to be still in the place where Chirabi is hiding. At this time Sasuke said with a smile, Ye Shenyue, you are really good at thinking about things 5.7, after all, I didn't think of this. Anyway, until this time, Sasuke admired Ye Shenyue very much, he is really very smart, and he thinks everything well. So at this time, Ye Shenyue's idea seemed simple, but Sasuke didn't even think of it. Chapter 191 Admiration. Please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. However, Ye Shenyue can think of it so easily, so now Sasuke really admires Ye Shenyue more and more, which is why Sasuke will always be by Ye Shenyue's side. At this time, Naruto also said, yeah, Ye Shenyue, you really impress me and Sasuke, you are always so good, so when will the two of us catch up with you? At this time Naruto is really speechless, Ye Shenyue is always so powerful, so in 02, when will he and Sasuke catch up with Ye Shenyue? Advertisement. Wouldn't they always be behind and always be by Ye Shenyue's side, but now Naruto said so. But he is also willing to let him stay by Ye Shenyue's side all the time. After all, Ye Shenyue is a very loyal person, and they are very happy to be by his side, and they can learn a lot. But at this time Ye Shenyue smiled and said, then what can I do? Who made me so powerful? I am also helpless, okay. At this time, Ye Shenyue was also very arrogant. Anyway, Ye Shenyue thought that he was indeed very powerful, and he admired himself a lot. He didn't know why, but his mind always turned so fast. But every time Ye Shenyue's mind turns so fast, the things he guesses are almost always the same. Advertisement. It is also for this reason that Sasuke and Naruto will always be by Ye Shenyue's side. After all, Ye Shenyue is really powerful, and they also admire Ye Shenyue very much, and it is precisely because of this that they are willing to stay by Ye Shenyue's side and do things for Ye Shenyue. However, at this time, Naruto rolled his eyes and said, I said Ye Shenyue, can you keep a low profile, although what we say is the truth, but you have to keep a low profile. At this time, Naruto didn't even know what Ye Shenyue was. Although Ye Shenyue was indeed very powerful, Naruto and Sasuke were not exaggerating. But Ye Shenyue can't just admit it like this, he should be polite anyway, and he should keep a low profile. After all, if Ye Shenyue admitted it directly, it would be fine if there were no outsiders here. If there were outsiders, wouldn't those people think that Ye Shenyue really doesn't know how to be modest? Advertisement. So now Naruto also hopes that Ye Shenyue can also restrain himself a little bit, no matter what he wants to keep a low profile. As soon as Naruto's voice fell, Sasuke also followed suit. That's right, Ye Shenyue, you must change your 587 in the future, you can't be so arrogant anymore, Naruto said you should keep a low profile. At this time, Sasuke also felt that what Naruto said was very reasonable, so now he also hopes that Ye Shenyue can listen to what Naruto said. After all, only in this way can Ye Shenyue get rid of his problems slowly, otherwise, wouldn't he be so high profile all the time? Because at this time Sasuke had the same idea as Naruto, and he also hoped that Ye Shenyue could keep a low profile. However, when Ye Shenyue heard what Naruto and Sasuke said, he didn't care at all, after all, Ye Shenyue didn't think it was necessary for him to do so. Chapter 192 Strength does not allow. Please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. What's more, here are all our own people, so Ye Shenyue has nothing to be ashamed of, Ye Shenyue can say whatever he wants. So Ye Shenyue said with a smile, and said, what you said is also reasonable. In fact, I also want to keep a low profile, but you should also know that I am also very embarrassed. At this time, Ye Shenyue said this, and said that he seemed very wronged. After all, Ye Shenyue also hoped that the two of them, Naruto and Sasuke, could relax. Advertisement. So now Ye Shenyue also wants to let the two of them know. In fact, he is also a little embarrassed. After all, Ye Shenyue also wants to keep a low profile, but Ye Shenyue's strength lies here, and it is not easy for him to keep a low profile. After all, every time Ye Shenyue finished handling things, his reputation would always spread. So even if Ye Shenyue wants to keep a low profile, so what? His reputation has already spread. This is not a fact that Ye Shenyue himself can cover up by keeping a low profile. This time, before Ye Shenyue waited for them to speak, he continued. After all, I also want to keep a low profile, but his strength does not allow it. However, Naruto and Sasuke, when they heard Ye Shenyue's last words, both of them were stunned, because none of them thought that Ye Shenyue would say such a thing. Advertisement. But no matter what Ye Shenyue said has some truth. Even if Ye Shenyue wants to keep a low profile now, his strength really doesn't allow it. Because Ye Shenyue's reputation has already spread, so what's the use of Ye Shenyue keeping a low profile now? It's just that even if the facts are like this, then Ye Shenyue can't boast about himself, and he should keep a low profile. At this time, Naruto and Sasuke were really speechless. They never thought that Ye Shenyue would be such a bad fart at this time. At this time Sasuke said helplessly, Ye Shenyue, I know what you said is the truth. Your strength really lies here. You don't want to keep a low profile if you want to. But others can say these things but you can't. Anyway, at this time Sasuke also admitted that what Ye Shenyue said is true. Ye Shenyue's strength really lies here, and he can't keep a low profile if he wants to. Advertisement. But now Sasuke also hopes that Ye Shenyue can understand that others can praise Ye Shenyue, but Ye Shenyue can't praise herself, because there is no one who can praise herself. In this way, if it spreads, people will really be laughed at, so now Sasuke also hopes that Ye Shenyue can follow what he said, and he will keep a low profile in the future. As for how others pass it on, that is someone else's business, but no matter what, no matter how powerful Ye Shenyue thinks he is, he can't praise himself. At this time, Naruto also said helplessly. Backquote. Okay, Sasuke, now we don't want anything new to Jiao, let's talk about it. I think Ye Shenyue must know what he should do, so let's stop worrying about it. At this time, Naruto also hopes that Sasuke will stop saying anything, because no matter what they say at this time, they can't say anything about Ye Shenyue. What's more, Naruto believes that Ye Shenyue must also know what he should do, so there is no need for them to worry about such a trivial matter here. Chapter 193. Hurry up and go, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. After all, Ye Shenyue can handle bigger things well, let alone such a small thing. So now there is really no need for the two of them to take care of these trivial matters. At this time, they should hurry up and get ready to go. After all, the things they are discussing here are really two small things, and they are all insignificant things. So they really can't continue to waste time here because of such a small matter. This time Naruto didn't give them a chance to speak, he continued. Okay, now we don't want to waste 767 hours here, since everything is ready now, then let's go quickly. Advertisement. At that time, Naruto also thought that their things were already prepared, so they couldn't continue wasting time here. No matter what, they must leave immediately, and only in this way can they find Xiaobai earlier. If not, they don't know when they will be able to find Xiaobai. If that's the case, then they don't have to do anything next. Aced, Ye Shenyue said at this time. Yeah, let's go straight away now. So Ye Shenyue did not have any hesitation. After he finished speaking, he took him away directly. After all, only in this way can they all set off together. If not, they will continue to waste time here. Advertisement. So at this time, Ye Shenyue also avoided, such things happened. So Ye Shenyue didn't wait for any of them at all, he just walked out. At this moment, after Naruto and Sasuke looked at each other, Naruto said. Okay, Sasuke, Ye Shenyue has already set off now, what are we waiting for here? Let's go. At this time, Naruto saw that Ye Shenyue had already set off, so he and Sasuke could not continue to waste time here. The two of them are also necessary now, and set off with Ye Shenyue quickly, after all, only in this way can they all see the way quickly. What's more, at this time, Ye Shenyue has already decided on the place to go, so of course they should hurry up and take a look at, as Ye Shenyue's guess this time correct. After all, if Ye Shenyue guessed wrong, they would still have to keep looking. Advertisement. So at this time, whether it is Naruto or Sasuke, both of them hope that Ye Shenyue can guess correctly. After all, they can save a lot of trouble in this way. At this time Sasuke also shook his head helplessly and said. Okay, let's go, after all, if we waste more time, we don't know when we will be able to arrive. At this time, Sasuke also felt that they should leave immediately. After all, if they continue to waste time here, when will they be able to find the little girl? Oh too, what's more, they have other things to do, so they can't use all the events to find Xiaobai. So now they should hurry up, after all, only in this way can they find Xiaobai earlier, and only in this way can Ye Shenyue give up earlier. Chapter 194. Low-key enough, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Otherwise, Ye Shenyue would never give up, otherwise they would waste more time on Xiaobai. This time, all of them were also very fast. They followed Ye Shenyue all the time, and soon they came to Killer Bee's hiding place before. At this time Sasuke frowned and said, no way, Ye Shenyue, this is where Killer Bee used to hide. Isn't this place too simple? Advertisement. When Sasuke saw the scenery in front of him, he was also very surprised, because he always thought that Killer Bee's hiding place should be very good, and he never expected it to be so simple. Anyway, this is completely different from what he imagined, so Sasuke also felt very incredible at this time. At this time, they didn't act immediately, they were here to look around, after all, they didn't expect that Killer Bee was hiding here. At this time, Naruto also said, Yeah, Ye Shenyue, this killer bee is really low-key. I thought he would be hiding in a very good place, but I didn't expect the conditions here to be so simple. At this time, Naruto also felt very unbelievable, because he always thought that Killer Bee's hiding place should be very good. It never occurred to him that it would be like this. Advertisement. So at this time, Naruto is also, there are some unbelievable, he also wants it now, and then confirm it with Ye Shenyue. Is this really the longevity of Killer Bee? Isn't Killer Bee living a very bad life during this period? After all, the conditions here are so simple, how can he live well? This also surprised Naruto. After all, he always believed that Killer Bee was a very particular person, and he never imagined that he would always live in such a place. At this time, Ye Shenyue probably smiled and said, I guess that's why Killer Bee chose to hide here. After all, you all think that he won't be here, that's the safest place to be a groundsmith. At this time, Ye Shenyue also hoped that Naruto and Sasuke could know, because they always believed that Killer Bee could not be here at all. 0. Ask for flowers. Advertisement. That's why Killer Bee chose this place. After all, everyone felt that he would not be here, so this place is the safest. It is precisely because of this that at this time, Ye Shenyue somewhat admired Killer Bee. After all, he is also a very smart person, and he is also very brainy. It's just that at this time Ye Shenyue also has some puzzles. Since this Killer Bee is so smart and has a brain, how could he be easily subdued by Xiaobai? This also really made Ye Shenyue a little puzzled. Could it be that Xiaobai is really that good? He was able to clean up Killer Bee with ease. If this is really the case, then Xiaobai is also very capable, and Ye Shenyue should take a good fight with him. After Sasuke listened to what Ye Shenyue said, he also thought that what Ye Shenyue said was very reasonable. So Sasuke said wide. Chapter 195 How to do it, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Ye Shenyue, what you said is very reasonable. It seems that Killer Bee is quite a cunning person. At this time, Sasuke also felt that what Ye Shenyue said was very reasonable, so at this time Sasuke also thought that Killer Bee was really very cunning, and he was able to think of this. After all, they all thought it was impossible for him to be here, so he hid here. In this, 803, way, he would be quieter and more worry-free. At this time, Sasuke really admired Killer Bee of. After all, not everyone is as smart as him and can think of such a way. Of course, at the same time, Sasuke also admires Ye Shenyue very much. After all, Ye Shenyue easily saw through all the thoughts in Killer Bee's mind. Advertisement. At this time, Naruto also followed suit. Ye Shenyue, this Killer Bee is really smart enough, but you are even smarter, since you have already guessed his thoughts so easily. In any case, Naruto admired Killer Bee very much at this time. She was really very smart. Not everyone could think of this method, but Killer Bee thought of it. But no matter what, Naruto admired Ye Shenyue even more at this time. After all, Killer Bee was very smart to think of this method. However, Ye Shenyue thought of Killer Bee's thoughts without any effort, which also proves that Ye Shenyue is also a very powerful person. At this time, Naruto also felt a little bit, and Ye Shenyue was also a little scary. Advertisement. After all, he is so powerful, always like this, he can easily guess the thoughts in other people's minds. So at this time, Naruto and all of them have an idea in their hearts, they can't deceive Ye Shenyue, because he will easily see through you. This time Naruto did not give Ye Shenyue a chance to speak, he continued. Ye Shenyue, how did you come up with this? After all, you are not familiar with Killer Bee, how could you guess that he will be here? How can you know what he thinks? At this time, Naruto thought of a very important question. In any case, Naruto also knew that Ye Shenyue and this Killer Bee were not familiar at all, so how could Ye Shenyue guess what this Killer Bee was thinking? Advertisement. Naruto can't understand this point no matter how much he thinks, so he can only ask Ye Shenyue now. After all, as long as Naruto has questions and asks Ye Shenyue will definitely answer him. So there is no need for Naruto at this time. He wasted time thinking about it. He can ask directly now. After all, they can save some time in this way. However, after Ye Shenyue heard what Naruto said, he was also stumped by Naruto. After all, Ye Shenyue was just relying on his own guess. At this time, 0.4 Naruto saw that Ye Shenyue did not answer his question immediately, and he continued. Ye Shenyue, I'm asking you something, why don't you speak? How on earth did you think of this? Hurry up and pass on the experience to me and Sasuke. At this time, Naruto was also waiting a little anxiously, after all their time was very precious. Chapter 196 Do you believe? Please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. So now Naruto also hopes that Ye Shenyue can answer his question quickly. After all, only in this way can they know how Ye Shenyue did this, and only in this way can they learn from Ye Shenyue slowly. After all, Ye Shenyue is really good, and they are also very envious of Ye Shenyue, so they must work very hard, and they must reach Ye Shenyue's level. At this time Sasuke also frowned and said, Advertisement. That's right, Ye Shenyue, we are asking you a question, why don't you answer us? Don't hide this trivial matter, why can't you tell us about it? At this time, Sasuke also hopes that Ye Shenyue will not be so stingy. Anyway, Otu and they just want to know how did Ye Shenyue infer. Here, in this way, all of them can learn more from Ye Shenyue, so now Sasuke also hopes that Ye Shenyue can answer their questions as soon as possible. After all, at this time Sasuke was also very curious about how Ye Shenyue did this. What's more, Sasuke and Sasuke have the same idea. They both want to learn from Ye Shenyue at the same time, and they also want to become as smart as Ye Shenyue. However, Ye Shenyue was completely speechless at this time. After all, he could see now that if he didn't answer Naruto and Sasuke, then they would not let him go. Advertisement. So Ye Shenyue said helplessly. If I told you too that I knew Killer Bee was hiding here, it was all my guess, would you believe me? In any case, Ye Shenyue can't speak directly at this time, because if that's the case, then Naruto and Sasuke will definitely not believe what he said. But no matter what, Ye Shenyue was able to figure it out at this time. If he told the truth directly, Naruto and Sasuke would not believe it. So at this time Ye Shenyue was also very helpless. Ye Shenyue now said that Naruto and Sasuke did not believe it. If he didn't say it, then the two of them would not be able to let Ye Shenyue off easily. So now Ye Shenyue is also very embarrassed. After all, it is not so easy for him to solve this matter now. However, when Naruto and Sasuke heard what Ye Shenyue said, they were taken aback for a moment. Advertisement. After all, none of them thought that Ye Shenyue would ask the two of them in turn. At this time, Sasuke raised the corners of his mouth and said with a smile. Ye Shenyue, guess what, will the two of us believe it? Since Ye Shenyue asked Sasuke back at 740, Sasuke can only ask Ye Shenyue back now. Anyway, how could Naruto and Sasuke believe what Ye Shenyue said at this time? After all, even if Ye Shenyue guessed, he couldn't guess so accurately, so at this time Sasuke thinks that Ye Shenyue still has a certain basis. It's just that Ye Shenyue didn't tell him Naruto at this time, so Sasuke also felt a little dissatisfied at this time. No matter what they all have, they will never hide it from Ye Shenyue. Chapter 197 Guessing by Feeling. Please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. So now he also hopes that Ye Shenyue will not hide it from them. After all, they have to trust each other, so they should communicate with each other about anything. At this time, Naruto also said, yeah, Ye Shenyue, what a smart person you are, do you still need to ask me and Sasuke this question? You can definitely guess it. Advertisement. Anyway, at this time Naruto also hoped that Ye Shenyue would stop wasting time here. Anyway, since they have asked Ye Shenyue now, Ye Shenyue can't escape the question. In any case, he had to give him and Sasuke a satisfactory answer, otherwise, he and Sasuke would not have a good time. What's more, the questions Naruto and Sasuke asked Ye Shenyue were also very simple. They just wanted to know how Ye Shenyue guessed that Killer Bee would hide here, which is not difficult at all. So the two of them think that there is no need for Ye Shenyue to hide now. After all, they are very good friends, not to mention such a small matter, is Ye Shenyue still planning to hide it from them? However, at this time Ye Shenyue was really forced and helpless, so Ye Shenyue said. Naruto, Sasuke, let me tell you the truth, in fact, Killer Bee will hide here, I really have no basis at all, it's really a person who guesses based on feeling. Advertisement. In any case, Ye Shenyue must have something to say at this time, no matter whether Naruto and Sasuke believe it or not, Ye Shenyue still has to say what to say. If they believe it, then Ye Shenyue can save some trouble, if they don't believe it, then Ye Shenyue has nothing to do. After all, what Ye Shenyue said at this time was all the truth, and he really guessed by feeling that Killer Bee would be here. But after Naruto and Sasuke heard what he said, they were dubious. After all, how could Ye Shenyue guess so accurately? At this time Sasuke said, no way, Ye Shenyue, don't tell me you really guessed. At this time, Sasuke looked at Ye Shenyue's expression, and he found that Ye Shenyue's expression was also very serious, so Sasuke also couldn't believe it at this time. Advertisement. If he really guessed as Ye Shenyue said, then Sasuke would feel very headache, because then they would not be able to confirm whether Killer Bee is really here. So at this time, Sasuke also hopes to hear Ye Shenyue say something different. After all, only in this way can they really meet Killer Bee. At this time, Naruto also said, backquote, yeah, Ye Shenyue, if you really guess, can Killer Bee be here? Li Wangzhao. At this time, Naruto also didn't know whether what Ye Shenyue said was true or not. If what Ye Shenyue said was true, then they really might not see Killer Bee. Because Naruto thought that it was impossible for Ye Shenyue to guess so accurately, so at this time Naruto also heard that Ye Shenyue said that he had a basis, and he didn't want him to guess. However, Ye Shenyue was also a little embarrassed at this time, after all, what he said now was true. Chapter 198 Unknown. Please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. So Ye Shenyue smiled and said. Why would I lie to you about such a trivial matter? What I said is really true. I really don't know whether Killer Bee is here or not. I'm just guessing. No matter what, at this time Ye Shenyue also hopes that the two of them can believe what he said. After all, what Ye Shenyue said now is the truth. He really guessed it. He didn't even know that Killer Bee would be here. It's just that this time Ye Shenyue didn't expect that he would guess so accurately, because Ye Shenyue looked at the way here now, and he knew that Killer Bee would definitely be here. Advertisement. So now Ye Shenyue is also very confident. After all, if they can really find Killer Bee here, then they can save a lot of time and trouble. However, after Naruto and Sasuke, the two 577 people, heard what Ye Shenyue said, they were really speechless. At this time Sasuke frowned and said, Ye Shenyue, then we have come so far in vain, after all, can Killer Bee really hide here, can we really find Yakushi Kabuto? At this time, Sasuke also didn't know whether they could see Yakushi Kabuto, after all, now Ye Shenyue didn't even know if this was Killer Bee's hiding place. So at this time, they all have a lot of questions, after all, they all want to know the answer now. Because if this is really Killer Bee's hideout, then they might meet Yakushi Kabuto here. Advertisement. In this way, Ye Shenyue and the others don't have to go any further, they can go directly to see what this Yakushi Kabuto is capable of. At this moment, Naruto said again. Yeah, Ye Shenyue, do you think this is really Killer Bee's hideout? Is Yakushi Kabuto really still here? Doesn't he leave here immediately after he takes over Rabbi Chi ACDD? Quote. At this time, Naruto is also very puzzled, so he must confirm with Ye Shenyue now. Does Ye Shenyue really think that this is where Killer Bee is hiding? If Ye Shenyue is right, how could Yakushi Kabuto be waiting here after he conquered Killer Bee? So everything is unknown at this time, because when they all haven't met Yakushi Kabuto, then they can't stop. So at this time, Naruto and Sasuke also felt very headache. They didn't want to continue walking, after all, they were already very tired from the journey. Advertisement. In order to save more time, the two of them have been on their way all the time, and have never rested at all. Although Naruto didn't understand what he said at this time, Ye Shenyue could guess what they were thinking. So Ye Shenyue said with a helpless smile, "Okay, you two don't worry about it so much now, after all, since we have already come here, let's be safe now that we have come." At this moment, Ye Shenyue also hopes that Naruto and Sasuke don't think so much. Anyway, they have come here now, so why are they still thinking so much here? They should also go around and have a look now. Chapter 199. Take a break, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. After all, only in this way can they all be able to confirm whether Yakushi Kabuto is still here. This time Ye Shenyue didn't give them a chance to speak, he continued. Now we're all here to rest for a while, and then we're all going to look around, maybe we can actually find Yakushi Kabuto. Anyway, at this time Ye Shenyue also knew Naruto and Sasuke, both of them must be very tired, so Ye Shenyue thought that they should still rest here, for a while. After they rest at home for a while, Ye Shenyue will take the two of them for a walk around. After all, only in this way can they all confirm whether Yakushi Kabuto is here or not. Advertisement. If Yakushi Kabuto were here, they could have saved a lot of time. So at this time, Ye Shenyue also hoped that his guess was right. After all, only in this way can everyone see how powerful Yakushi Kabuto is. After all, during this period of time, those people have spread that Yakushi Kabuto is very powerful, so Ye Shenyue is also very interested in this Yakushi Kabuto now. At this time Sasuke sat down directly, he said, "Okay, Ye Shenyue has already said, let's take a rest here, after all, we didn't rest on the way, and I'm almost exhausted." At this time, Ye Shenyue has already said that they can live here to rest, so what is Sasuke waiting for? Advertisement. He also wants to take a break now. Anyway, he is very tired along the way, so no matter what, he must study hard now. After all, only in this way can he replenish his physical strength, not to mention that even if they are all of them at this time, it is useless to go to Yakushi Kabuto. After all, they are all so tired at this time. If Yakushi Kabuto is really so difficult to deal with, then all of them will be very passive. So even if Ye Shenyue doesn't say anything, Sasuke still wants to take a break, not to mention that they have come here now, so they have nothing to worry about. At this time, Naruto also sat down and said, "Zero looking for flowers. Yeah, I'm almost exhausted, Ye Shenyue, don't stand there anymore, sit down and rest for a while." Advertisement. Naruto is also very tired at this time, so he must take a break now. However, at this moment, Naruto discovered that Ye Shenyue had been standing there, and he hadn't sat down to rest at all. So now Naruto also hopes that Ye Shenyue can stay and rest more like him and Sasuke, after all, only in this way can they replenish their physical strength. Only in this way can they have more energy to find Yakushi Kabuto for a while, anyway, since they have all found this place at this time, they can't give up halfway. So now they all have to raise their spirits, only in this way can they look for Yakushi Kabuto for a while longer. At this time, Ye Shenyue smiled, and sat down to rest. After all, since they are all resting here at this time, Ye Shenyue can't help but rest. At this moment, Naruto continued to talk about the mountain. Chapter 200. Discuss the route seeking subscription. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Ye Shenyue, you said, which direction should we go after we finish our rest? Although it is said that they are all resting here at this time, but now Naruto hopes that all of them will not waste their time in vain. So while resting, Naruto also wants to discuss with Ye Shenyue, after they rest, which direction are they going to try? 373. No matter what, they also had to make a decision in advance, after all, that was the only way, and they could set off directly after resting for a while. If not, they still have to think about which side to go, so they will waste some time. So now Naruto doesn't want to just waste time like this. Advertisement. At this time Sasuke said again, "Yeah, Ye Shenyue, while we are resting here now, let's not waste time like this for nothing, let's discuss our route for a while." At this time, Sasuke also felt that Naruto's arrangement was very good. Anyway, they should discuss their route now. After all, in this case, after all of them have a good rest, they can start directly, so that they can save more time. When Ye Shenyue heard what Naruto and Sasuke said, he was also seriously thinking about this issue. Anyway, they should really work out a route first so that they can avoid unnecessary mistakes. This time Sasuke saw that Ye Shenyue didn't speak, so he continued. Advertisement. Ye Shenyue, I think otherwise, you don't have to think about it. We will walk along this road in a while, and we will go wherever we go. At this time, Sasuke saw that Ye Shenyue was still thinking about this problem here. So now Sasuke thinks that there is no need for Ye Shenyue at all, because of such a trivial matter, they have to waste their brains here, thinking about how they should go. So at this time, Sasuke also suggested to them that everyone should keep walking along this road, no matter where they go, they also need to go to me step by step like this. Only in this way can all of them not be left behind, and only in this way can they confirm earlier whether Yakushi Kabuto and the others are here or not. At this time, Ye Shenyue walked towards the road Sasuke said, and after looking at it, Ye Shenyue said. Advertisement. Okay, Sasuke, just do as you say, so I don't have to think about where I should go. This time, Ye Shenyue didn't think too much about it. Now that Sasuke has already put forward his opinions, Ye Shenyue can only follow Sasuke's proposal. After all, if this is the case, Ye Shenyue doesn't have to think about it anymore. If not, Ye Shenyue still has to think about which direction they should go in here. 5.1 If this is the case, Ye Shenyue still wastes brains and time, so Ye Shenyue does not intend to waste time at this time, just follow what Sasuke said. If they just go in the direction they want, then they won't go wrong, so they won't waste time. So Ye Shenyue was too lazy to think about him at this time, and now he decided to do what Sasuke said. Chapter 201. Take a break first, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. At this time Sasuke said with a smile. In that case, what are we all waiting for? Let's go. At this time, Sasuke thought that they all had a direction now, so they shouldn't wait here any longer. They should hurry up now. After all, only in this way can they confirm earlier whether this Yukushi Kabuto is here or not. After all, they all came here this time to find Yukushi Kabuto, so they should act quickly now. What's more, they have other things to do next too, so they absolutely can't waste too much time here. Advertisement. But at this time Ye Shenyue said it again. Okay, Sasuke, it's not too late to be in a hurry. After all, we haven't rested on this journey. Let's take a rest first, and then go find Yukushi Kabuto. Ye Shenyue never thought that Sasuke would be so active at this time. But no matter what, now Ye Shenyue also hopes that Sasuke can know that no matter how anxious he is, he can't miss it for a while. In any case, along the way, none of them rested. So now Ye Shenyue thinks that they should take a rest here. After all of them have rested, they will be able to have more energy. After all, only in this way, if they really meet Yukushi Kabuto, Ye Shenyue and the others can have the strength to deal with it. Anyway, those people have already passed it on. This Yukushi Kabuto is still very powerful. Advertisement. So now Ye Shenyue must be more cautious. He wouldn't mind if it was only Ye Shenyue himself, but there are Naruto and Sasuke here too. So no matter what, Ye Shenyue must ensure the safety of the two of them. This time Ye Shenyue didn't give Sasuke a chance to speak, he continued. Although our time is very tight, we can't be too hasty. In any case, our safety is the most important thing. Although Ye Shenyue is very confident in all of them at this time, but no matter what, Ye Shenyue must be foolproof now. So at this time, Ye Shenyue also hopes that Naruto and Sasuke will not act too hastily. Anyway, since they have come here now, there is no need for them to worry. Advertisement. After all, sooner or later they will be able to figure out whether Yukushi Kabuto is here or not. At this time Sasuke followed up. Okay, Ye Shenyue, since you have already said that, then we all just listen to you. At this time, Ye Shenyue has already said that, what else can Sasuke say? Now he can only follow what Ye Shenyue said. Anyway, they should take a break at this time. After all, only in this way can they all have more energy. So this time Sasuke didn't either, and when he went to refute Ye Shenyue, he just listened to Ye Shenyue's words and sat here to rest. After all, what Ye Shenyue said was right, they are really tired now. They also need rest. After all, only then will they be able to recharge their batteries, and only then will they be able to cope when they all find Yukushi Kabuto. Chapter 202. Can't figure it out, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. After all, those people have passed on Yukushi Kabuto so well, so they really should be more cautious. At this time Naruto said again. Ye Shenyue, you said we came to Yukushi Kabuto at this time, what is the purpose? You really just want to see how strong Yukushi Kabuto is. At this time, Naruto also couldn't figure out why Ye Shenyue had to come here to find Yukushi Kabuto at this time. Anyway, Ye Shenyue is not a competitive person. Advertisement. In the past, people often said who was very powerful, but at that time Ye Shenyue was not curious at all, and this was the first time they saw that Ye Shenyue would be curious about a person's ability. That's why they are very puzzled now. When did Ye Shenyue have such thoughts? After all, Ye Shenyue has always believed that as long as he does his own thing well, he doesn't need to care about other people at all. At this time, just as Naruto's voice fell, Sasuke followed suit. Yeah, Ye Shenyue, I can't figure this out. After all, some people have said that so-and-so has made progress, but I have never seen you have such a strong curiosity. Backquote. When Sasuke heard what Naruto said, he also realized that there was indeed such a situation before, but Ye Shenyue was never curious. So at this time Sasuke also just wants to know, why is Ye Shenyue so curious this time? Advertisement. Anyway, no matter how strong this Yukushi Kabuto is, what does it have to do with them? Ye Shenyue shouldn't be so active to come here to see how good he is. So now Sasuke also wants to know, what did Ye Shenyue think about his attitude? Why did he suddenly change so much? This time Sasuke didn't give Ye Shenyue a chance to speak, he continued. Ye Shenyue, you said that you are so curious about Yukushi Kabuto's ability, do you want to know who he is and how he improved so fast? At this time, Sasuke thought that Ye Shenyue was curious. This Yukushi Kabuto probably wanted to see how this Yukushi Kabuto did it, and how his ability improved so fast. After all, Sasuke was also very curious at this time, but even if Sasuke was curious at this time, he was not willing to travel so far like Ye Shenyue to see how Yukushi Kabuto did it. So at this time Sasuke also wants to know, why is Ye Shenyue so curious about Yukushi Kabuto this time? Advertisement. Could it be that Ye Shenyue also wanted to take a look at how Yukushi Kabuto has progressed, so that Ye Shenyue could learn from him, but Sasuke thought about it, and it shouldn't be like this. After all, Ye Shenyue's competitive spirit is not that strong. So now he really can't understand why Ye Shenyue has to travel such a long way, and insists on asking Wang Zhao to come and see Yukushi Kabuto. At this time, Ye Shenyue said helplessly. Backquote. How can I have such a strong curiosity? Whoever is stronger is who is capable, and what does it have to do with me? At this time, Ye Shenyue also had to explain to Naruto and Sasuke that he didn't have such a strong curiosity at all, so who wants to force it? What does it have to do with Ye Shenyue? He doesn't care about these things at all. After all, whoever is powerful is the one who has the ability. Chapter 203. Crooked Sorcery, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Ye Shenyue won't take care of these useless things. After all, Ye Shenyue's time is very precious, so he won't waste all his time on things that have nothing to do with him. So at this time, Ye Shenyue also had to explain this matter clearly, and he didn't want Naruto and Sasuke to think too much. This time, before Ye Shenyue waited for the two of them to speak, Ye Shenyue continued. This time I have to come to see Yakushi Kabuto, also because I think Yakushi Kabuto used some kind of sorcery. If not, how could it be possible for him to become so powerful all of a sudden? Advertisement. Anyway, this time Ye Shenyue insisted on meeting Yakushi Kabuto, also because Ye Shenyue thought it was a very strange thing that Yakushi Kabuto had made such a big improvement all of a sudden. So Ye Shenyue thinks that Yakushi Kabuto must have used some kind of sorcery. If not, how could he suddenly become so powerful? After all, this is really abnormal. It is precisely because of this that Ye Shenyue insisted on coming to see Yakushi Kabuto to meet him in person. If not, Yakushi ACBJ, you wouldn't waste so much time on Yakushi Kabuto. When Naruto and Sasuke heard what Ye Shenyue said, they were also taken aback. Because they never thought that Ye Shenyue insisted on coming here to meet him, Yakushi Kabuto insisted on meeting him, Mascara. At this time Sasuke frowned and said, advertisement. Ye Shenyue, what you said makes sense. This Yakushi Kabuto may really have used crooked techniques. Otherwise, how could he have improved so quickly in a short period of time? After Sasuke heard what Ye Shenyue said, he thought that what Ye Shenyue said was also reasonable, and this Yakushi Kabuto might really have used crooked methods. If not, it is really impossible for him to make such great progress in a short period of time. If this is really the case, then all of them should really know Jujo this Yakushi Kabuto well. Anyway, they all hate these crooked tricks the most. This time Sasuke didn't give them all a chance to speak, he continued. Ye Shenyue, it seems that we are right to come here this time. No matter what, we must meet this Yakushi Kabuto for a while. Advertisement. Sasuke didn't have any reason at this time, he also felt that it was right for Ye Shenyue to bring them all here, no matter what they had to meet Yakushi Kabuto for a while. If this Yakushi Kabuto really knows some crooked tricks, then they will never let this Yakushi Kabuto continue to enjoy himself like this. In any case, these people who will be in contact with the outside world cannot forgive them, because if they give such people a chance, then they will definitely get worse. At that time, all of them will have more troubles, so once they find out, they must solve it early. At this time, Naruto said again, Ye Shenyue, why are we still resting here? Let's hurry up and find Yakushi Kabuto, after all, there is nothing more important than this right now. 17. At this time, Naruto also thought that they should not rest here at this time, and they should go to find this Yakushi Kabuto earlier. Chapter 204 Don't be too hasty, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Because people who know foreign magic are absolutely unable to give him any chance, so at this time they should go to meet for a while, this Yakushi Kabuto. If this is really the case, then they must also find a way to directly eliminate this Yakushi Kabuto, absolutely not allowing him to continue to enjoy himself. At this time, Ye Shenyue never thought that after he told Naruto and Sasuke about this matter, they would be so active. So Ye Shenyue said helplessly. Advertisement. Okay, Naruto, Sasuke, I've already told you, don't rush over time, let's take a rest first, and then go to him after we rest, we're not short of time. At this moment, Ye Shenyue didn't know what to say about the two of them, after all, Ye Shenyue had already told them not to be too hasty. They also have to come step by step now. At this time, they are all so tired, and they should take a good rest. In this way, when they go to Yakushi Kabuto, they will have more experience, so now Ye Shenyue also hopes that they can remember what he said, and don't always take his words as wind. After all, Ye Shenyue had already emphasized this matter to them just now, but Naruto and Sasuke, the two of them, were still anxious. So now Ye Shenyue also hopes that they should not be in a hurry, after all, this matter is not at all, and it can be solved in a hurry. This time Ye Shenyue didn't give the two of them a chance to talk, he continued. Advertisement. Okay, Naruto, Sasuke, don't think about anything now, just do as I said, take a rest first, and set off directly after we have rested. Anyway, at this time Ye Shenyue also hopes that Naruto and Sasuke don't think about anything, they should take a rest now. After they all had a good rest, they could set off directly. In this way, when they really found Yakushi Kabuto, they could have more energy to deal with Yakushi Kabuto. So now no matter what, Ye Shenyue hopes that they can calm down and take a good rest first. So at this time, Naruto and Sasuke still disagree with what Yagami said. But at this time, Ye Shenyue has already said that, so what else can the two of them say? So Sasuke said, advertisement. Okay, Ye Shenyue, then let's not say anything now, let's settle down and have a good rest, so that we can start earlier. 0. At this time, Sasuke also hopes that Ye Shenyue and the others will stop talking about it now. Now that Ye Shenyue has already said that they are going to take a rest here before leaving, Sasuke also hopes that if they want to rest at this time, they can take a good rest and say nothing. After all, only in this way can they rest well, so that they can start earlier, because now Sasuke also wants to see Yakushi Kabuto earlier. After all, only in this way can they confirm earlier whether this Yakushi Kabuto really knows some crooked tricks. In this way, they can also make a decision directly, and in this way, they can also save some time. Chapter 205 What are you still resting on? Please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. This time, Ye Shenyue didn't refute again. After all, what Sasuke said now has some truth. They can only set off earlier if they have a good rest. Seeing that Ye Shenyue didn't say anything, Sasuke continued. Ye Shenyue, since we have come now, we must try our best to deal with this matter this time. If Yakushi Kabuto really knows those crooked tricks, then we cannot, 640, let he has the opportunity to continue to harm people. At this time, Sasuke also made up his mind, no matter what, they must find Yakushi Kabuto this time, and they must know whether this Yakushi Kabuto knows those crooked tricks or not. If this is the case, then they will definitely not give Yakushi Kabuto another chance to harm others. After all, he believes that everyone can have their own abilities. Advertisement. But they have to rely on this kind of ability, so they can't make these crooked tricks. Sasuke hates such people the most, so now Sasuke can't bear his temper anymore, and he can't continue to rest here. Now he also wants to know whether Ye Shenyue's guess is correct, and now he also wants to meet this Yukushi Kabuto immediately. As soon as Sasuke finished speaking, Naruto followed suit. Yeah, Ye Shenyue, why should we rest now? Let's hurry up now. If Yukushi Kabuto is here, what if we move too slowly and let him go? At this time, Naruto is not calm anymore, so now Naruto also hopes that Ye Shenyue can make a decision as soon as possible. In any case, they couldn't rest here at this time, not to mention they found it with great difficulty, so they must confirm whether Yukushi Kabuto is here as soon as possible. Advertisement. After all, only in this way can they completely relax. If not, what if Yukushi Kabuto is really here and they have already found him, and just because they rested here, Yukushi Kabuto left again? At that time, they really don't know where to find Yukushi Kabuto. So now Naruto also hopes that Ye Shenyue can follow what he and Sasuke said, and stop resting. After all, if they want to rest, after they deal with Yukushi Kabuto, they will have plenty of time to rest. This time Naruto didn't either, and when Ye Shenyue spoke, he continued. Advertisement. Ye Shenyue, after all, this matter has passed for so many days. If Yukushi Kabuto leaves, then we will come in vain, so let's not rest for now. At this time, Naruto didn't hesitate at all, he also expressed his thoughts. After all, only in this way can Ye Shenyue quickly follow what they said. Only in this way can they find Yukushi Kabuto earlier. Anyway, now Naruto doesn't want them to waste 4.0 time in vain. So now he also hopes that Ye Shenyue can make a quick decision. After all, only in this way can they seize the time to act quickly, and only in this way can they confirm earlier whether this Yukushi Kabuto is here or not. Anyway, Naruto hoped that Yukushi Kabuto would be here. After all, they would be able to save a lot of trouble. Chapter 206. Be calm, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. At this time, when Ye Shenyue saw the reaction of Naruto and Sasuke, Ye Shenyue was also very surprised. She never expected the reaction of the two of them to be so excited. So Ye Shenyue said helplessly, "Okay, Naruto, Sasuke, how many times have I told you to be calm when encountering things, what are you too excited about?" At this moment, Ye Shenyue didn't know what to say to Naruto and Sasuke. After all, Ye Shenyue had told them many times. Advertisement. No matter what happens to O2, let them calm down. But this time, the two of them were not calm again. So now Ye Shenyue also hopes that the two of them can realize that they are more or less a little excited at this time. After all, no matter how anxious they are about this matter, they have to take it step by step. After all, they can't eat a fat man with one bite. So at this time, Ye Shenyue also hopes that Naruto and Sasuke will not be in a hurry, although their time is very tight. But they also have to do what they can. Anyway, people outside have already said that Yukushi Kabuto is so powerful, so Ye Shenyue must also be foolproof. So no matter what Naruto and Sasuke say at this time, Ye Shenyue will never change the wrong decision easily. Advertisement. This time Ye Shenyue did not give Naruto and Sasuke a chance to talk, he continued. I can understand the feelings of the two of you, but you also need to know that this matter cannot be resolved in a hurry, and this Yukushi Kabuto is said to be very capable, so we must be foolproof. In any case, Ye Shenyue also has his own considerations. So now he also expressed his concerns. After all, if Ye Shenyue came here by himself this time, he wouldn't care so much. After all, there are Naruto and Sasuke by his side, so Ye Shenyue will never take risks, not to mention that they all want to confirm whether this Yukushi Kabuto is really what the outside world said. Therefore, Ye Shenyue and the others should take good care of their spirits. After all, this time they can only succeed and not fail, because this matter is still very important. So at this time Ye Shenyue will definitely not take it lightly. Advertisement. Ye Shenyue now also hopes that Naruto and Sasuke can listen to what he said. At this time, they should not be anxious and must calm down. After all, only in this way can they handle this matter well. At this time, Naruto and Sasuke also knew what was going on in Ye Shenyue's heart. 167. So Naruto said, Ye Shenyue, I know you are doing it for me and Sasuke, but our time is very urgent at this time, so don't waste it. At this time, Naruto also knew that Ye Shenyue was also thinking about him and Sasuke, so now Naruto also hoped that Ye Shenyue would not care so much. Anyway, since they have found them now, they can't waste time here. After all, their time is also very urgent. What's more, if Yukushi Kabuto is really let go, it will be very troublesome for them to find Yukushi Kabuto again. Chapter 207. Can't miss the opportunity, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. So now Naruto also hopes that Ye Shenyue can also listen to what he said. In any case, he didn't want to waste too much time on this matter, not to mention that they all wanted to get rid of this Yukushi Kabuto as soon as possible. Because if it was really like what Ye Shenyue guessed, then they would absolutely not be able to give Yukushi Kabuto another chance to harm someone. As soon as Naruto finished speaking, Sasuke followed suit. Yeah, Ye Shenyue, not to mention you already guessed that Yukushi Kabuto is here, then we can't miss this opportunity, so we'd better wait until we find Yukushi Kabuto, and then rest. At this moment, Sasuke and Naruto still have the same idea, so now Sasuke also hopes that Ye Shenyue can hear what Naruto said. In any case, they shouldn't waste time here at this time, not to mention that this opportunity is very rare. Advertisement. Because Ye Shenyue has already guessed that Yukushi Kabuto will be here, and it has been so many days. So now Sasuke also hopes that Ye Shenyue can hurry up. After all, they don't want to miss this opportunity, because if they miss this opportunity and try to find Yukushi Kabuto, they will waste more time. Anyway, Sasuke didn't want such a thing to happen. So now he and Sasuke also have to convince Ye Shenyue. What's more, although they are tired at this time, they are also very motivated at this time. So no matter what, they couldn't, and missed such a good opportunity because of the rest. Advertisement. So now they also hope that Ye Shenyue can listen to the two of them. This time Sasuke did not give Ye Shenyue a chance to speak, he continued. Okay, Ye Shenyue, don't think about it anymore, after all, time waits for no one, let's hurry up and go now. Although Sasuke and Naruto are a little tired at this time, they are really not in the mood to rest here. So now he also hopes that Ye Shenyue can quickly follow what they said, after all, only in this way can they find Yakushi Kabuto earlier. What's more, at this time, Naruto and Sasuke have something on their minds, even if they are allowed to rest, they will not be able to rest well. So at this time, they might as well not take a break. In that case, they can save more time. Advertisement. And in this way, Sasuke and the others will feel better. When Ye Shenyue heard what Naruto and Sasuke said, he was completely speechless. After all, what else could Ye Shenyue say at this time? What's more, Ye Shenyue also knows the two of them very well, knowing that even if he is going to persuade Naruto and Sasuke at this time, they will definitely persuade Ye Shenyue here in turn. So Ye Shenyue knew that at this deserved time, he might as well listen to the two of them and set off as soon as possible, after all, they could save some time in this way. So Ye Shenyue said helplessly, okay, just listen to what you have to say, after all, if I don't listen to you, you won't be able to go on like this forever. At this time, Ye Shenyue was also forced to compromise. Anyway, he also understood the comparison of their personalities very well. Chapter 208. Let's go now. Please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. After all, Ye Shenyue knew that at this time, if he didn't follow what Naruto and Sasuke said, then the two of them would definitely continue to whisper in his ears. In this case, Ye Shenyue really doesn't know how it should end. So at this time Ye Shenyue can only listen to Naruto and Sasuke. After all, if this is the case, the two of them won't be chattering anymore. After all, Ye Shenyue doesn't like it, there are always people whispering in his ear. What's more, Ye Shenyue doesn't want to waste too much time here. Advertisement. These Ye Shenyue want to stay and rest, and they are also considering 947 Naruto and Sasuke, since neither of them want to rest at this time. This is exactly what Ye Shenyue wants, so at this time, they should hurry to find Yakushi Kabuto. When Naruto and Sasuke heard what Ye Shenyue said, they both breathed a sigh of relief. After all, the two of them never thought that Ye Shenyue would compromise so easily. They thought they would waste some words. At this time Sasuke said again. In this case, Ye Shenyue, let's not waste time here, let's go now. Sasuke has been waiting for this sentence from Ye Shenyue. So when he heard what Ye Shenyue said, he was also very satisfied. Advertisement. So now Sasuke thinks that they should not continue to waste time here, and now that Ye Shenyue has compromised, they should also set off immediately. After all, only in this way can they know whether Yakushi Kabuto is here or not, and it would be best if he is here. They can save some time and trouble. If they are not here, then they will continue to find a way to find Yakushi Kabuto. Since Ye Shenyue already thought that Yakushi Kabuto knew some crooked tricks at this time, they absolutely couldn't just give up so easily. Asahi, they must find Yakushi Kabuto and confirm this matter, so they can let it go. If not, they will never give up halfway. At this time Ye Shenyue stood up, nodded and said. Okay, you've said that, so what else can I say? Let's go now. Advertisement. This time, what Sasuke said was exactly what Ye Shenyue wanted. So at this time, Ye Shenyue doesn't intend to waste time here, after all, Ye Shenyue also wants to find something as small as Yakushi Kabuto. After all, the purpose of their coming here this time is to find Yakushi Kabuto, so they should hurry up and act now. When Naruto and Sasuke saw Ye Shenyue's actions, they didn't hesitate and stood up following Ye Shenyue. After all, the two of them don't want to waste too much time here, not to mention they have other things to do next. And even if they don't think about the future at this time, they just think about the immediate thing, they can't dawdle any longer. In any case, they had already come here at this time, so they couldn't miss this opportunity. After all, not everyone is so lucky, they can always miss an opportunity, and there will be another one. Chapter 209 not found. Please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Seeing that Naruto and Sasuke also stood up, Ye Shenyue said with a smile. Let's follow the previous decision and go down this road. Since they were about to set off at this time, Ye Shenyue also had to reconfirm with them about their route. Anyway, they all came together, so now Ye Shenyue must respect the opinions of the two of them. What's more, this was Sasuke's idea before, so now Ye Shenyue is just respecting his idea, that's all. At this time, they are all ready, and they can start immediately, which is also a good thing for Ye Shenyue and the others. After all, they don't want to waste too much time here, not to mention that after Ye Shenyue, there are other things to do. Advertisement. At this time Sasuke said with a smile. Okay, we've been dawdling here for a long time, now let's stop dawdling, let's go right away. At this time Sasuke is also a little impatient. They've been here for a while anyway. So now Sasuke also hopes that all of them will stop dawdling, and they should start at this time. After all, if they continue to dawdle here, wouldn't they be wasting their time in vain? So now Sasuke doesn't want such a thing to happen. This time they all set off without any hesitation. After all they all want now, a little to find this Yakushi Kabuto's. Advertisement. Because they all want to confirm now, what is the reason why this Yakushi Kabuto has become so powerful, is he really capable of some crooked tricks? If this is the case, then they must handle this matter beautifully. In this way, Ye Shenyue and the others walked for a long time, but none of them found anything. At this moment, Naruto frowned and said, Ye Shenyue, we've been walking for so long, why haven't we found anything? Could it be that Yakushi Kabuto isn't here at all? At this time, Naruto was also very puzzled. After all of them have been looking here for so long, but until now, they really haven't found anything. Zero looking for flowers. So at this time Naruto has to wonder if Yukushi Kabuto is not here at all now. Advertisement. Anyway, if Yukushi Kabuto were here, they couldn't have walked for so long and found nothing at 10 o'clock. So it is very normal for Naruto to have such thoughts at this time. 0.0. As soon as Naruto's voice fell, Sasuke also followed suit. Yeah, Ye Shenyue, we've come so far, but until now, we haven't even discovered anything. At this time, Sasuke also had some doubts. Anyway, they have been growing up for so long, how could they not find out at 10 o'clock? So now Sasuke also feels that this matter is a little strange. So Sasuke now also hopes that Ye Shenyue can think about this matter carefully, but they can't anyway, they always walk so slowly and aimlessly. This time Sasuke didn't give them a chance to speak, he continued. Chapter 210 Can't give up halfway, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Advertisement. I think Yukushi Kabuto should have left long ago, otherwise, how could we have found nothing? At this time, Sasuke guessed that Yukushi Kabuto should have already left by now. If not, it is impossible for them to have been together for such a long time without discovering anything, so now Sasuke thinks that they should also replan. After all, if they continue the May 20th, like this, they will not gain anything if they search blindly, so they will waste a lot of time here. So now they should still think about where this Yukushi Kabuto might go. After all, only in this way can they find Yukushi Kabuto earlier, and only in this way can they confirm whether this Yukushi Kabuto can practice magic. However, at this moment, Ye Shenyue said, advertisement. In any case, since we have come here now, we can't give up halfway. We must find every place, and we must not leave any place behind. Now is the time, and he also hopes that they all know that since they have come here now, they cannot give up halfway. No matter what, they still need to find all the places here. After all, only in this way can they confirm that Yukushi Kabuto is really not here. And Ye Shenyue thought if they left a place, if Yukushi Kabuto was hiding in that place, what would they do? Then wouldn't they have wasted so much time in vain, so Ye Shenyue has made up his mind now. No matter what, he will search all over here. Advertisement. After all, only in this way can Ye Shenyue give up, if not, Ye Shenyue will never give up. This time Ye Shenyue didn't give them a chance to speak, he continued. If we've searched all the places and haven't found Yukushi Kabuto, we'll think of other ways. Of course, Ye Shenyue also knew what they were worrying about at this time. So now Ye Shenyue also hopes that all of them can persevere. After they have searched all the places, if they haven't found Yukushi Kabuto yet, then they can think of other ways. After all, they have already wasted so much time, and they can't find half of it and give up. In this case, the efforts they have made before will not be in vain. Advertisement. What's more, if they don't look here at this time, Ye Shenyue can't think of where Yukushi Kabuto can be. So now Ye Shenyue also hopes that they can all do what Ye Shenyue said, don't give up, and should continue to persevere. Ye Shenyue glanced at Naruto and Sasuke, then continued. Okay, let's not waste time here now, let's keep looking for 2.7. Anyway, at this time Ye Shenyue also hopes that Naruto and Sasuke can listen to him and stop wasting time here. Now that they have come here, they must search all the places. After all, only in this way can everyone confirm that this Yukushi Kabuto is really not here.